Hello, hello, it is the post-match pint, and it's a post-match pint with a difference, not about the Reds this time, but about the mighty Mariners. Marine, as you will all have just seen, no doubt, on the telly. I've lost 5-0 to Spurs in the FA Cup, but tremendous nevertheless, I've got to say. And I've got Jordan Doyle and I've got Matty Loughlin-Day with me. This post-match pint fueled by Budweiser. Thank you very much, Budweiser. I have now got my pint machine working. There's a little clip which we'll throw in of me pouring a pint and stuff. Sam, lash it in. Back in. It is genuinely a lovely piece of kit, and like I thought, you know, when they said they were sending me a pint machine, I was like, this is mad. And now I'm like, they're proud of it, stroking it and stuff. So yeah, thanks to Budweiser for all that. And thanks to Budweiser generally. They've been boss around all of this. They sent a crate of Budweiser to all the Marine season ticket holders. They also made sure there's a fridge there, which I'm sure, a fridge full of ale, I should say, at Marine right now, which I'm sure some of the players are getting stuck into post-match. So well into Budweiser, getting stuck into the game then, boys. Jordan, you know, it didn't go the way we all were dreaming last night and all the rest of it, but you've got to be immensely proud of that, mate.
Absolutely. Like it didn't go the way we wanted, but I think it went the way we pretty much expected it to. Yeah. To a point. 23 minutes before they scored, though, I was made up. Like, I thought we were doing all right here. They did as best they could. They stuck to their plan. The first goal was was just unlucky, really. If he makes contact with it straight away, I think he saves it. Yeah. But one of them.
Yeah, he spawned it, didn't he? The way the touch he had on it. And Matty, you know, they didn't play the sort of the strongest side that they could have done, but nevertheless, 9 full internationals there playing for Spurs. Yeah. Gareth Bale, a £90 million footballer, coming on and having a game of footy at Rossett Park.
How the mighty have fallen, eh?
It's absolutely. I mean, the whole of Marine's first 11 I read costs £1,700. You know,
surreal.
It is surreal, isn't it?
I was on holiday with my wife about last year, and we went to see Real Madrid versus Real Betis, and Bale he didn't play, but he was warming up. And I was saying to my wife, we were watching him in Real Madrid, and now he's playing at the Marine Travel Arena. Absolutely brilliant. We went to brilliant.
I mean, that's the thing about the whole thing, Jordan. That, you know, okay, 5-0 sounds bit depressing, you know, and all the rest of it, and the dream, the magic, and all that is now over. But it's been a great day, though, hasn't it? I mean, I'm sure you've done all this, you know, got all the Sunday papers, been listening to 5 Live, been watching the BBC, and it's just mad to see, you know, those steps that you've taken so many times, you know, the ground, all the rest of it, filled with, you know, Gary Lineker, Ian Wright, Shearer. As Matty said, it's just surreal, isn't it?
Like when, you know, just seeing that when the coach turned up and everything like that, all the people outside, and seeing me, walking through the car park, and thought, yeah, I've walked there, I've been there. The crowd outside the shops and all that, was like, I was there yesterday, and like even just sounds stupid, like all the camera angles and all that everywhere. It's like, I've done that on Instagram. I've put that on Instagram. I've done that on Instagram.
It was great, wasn't it? It was. I went down there about 11 o'clock today just to kind of suss it out, kept me distance, had a mask, and just seeing all like the enormous like scaffolding and the lights. It was and then seeing it on the BBC with, like, you know, Joe Hart coming out and Dele Alli, and it just reminded me, now to make it about me as ever, but like the band I'm in, the Shipbuilders, we played Kendall Corman, a festival about 2 years ago, and after our set we had to get to our tent, and in order to do that we cut behind the main stage, and so for a brief moment I was like at the very back of the stage while Nile Rodgers and Chic were playing. I can't remember if it was one of the big hits, and watching that, it just felt like how I felt back then. Do you know what I mean? Little old me on stage with Nile Rodgers, and there you see like Mendes warming up as Gareth Bale's warming up as well. It's just so surreal.
That's what I mean. It is. I mean, there was a lad who I thought was great on 5 Live, where he was just sort of saying, you know, we only bought the house like 10 months ago or so, and, you know, it's been sound, have a marine in the back garden type of thing. And he said, but I'm looking out now, and, like, you know, there's Joe Hart and there's Gareth Bale, and he said, you know, it's absolutely, and like they were like, what are you going to do? And he's like, I want to try and get like Son's signature and stuff like that, and it just mad. But I mean, I guess we should do the actual footy as well and the actual game, and worth mentioning as well that these boys do a blog called Forza Marine. A new piece on there from Matty I noticed as well over the weekend in the build up to the game, so have a read of that, and if you've got a bit of love for Marine now, and I imagine a lot of people have, that's something you can go away and read. But yeah, Jordan, watching the game and how it was unfolding, there was one or two chances for Spurs early on. Ali hit one straight at the keeper, Mora hits one over the bar, but as time's going on, you're thinking they're growing in confidence here, Marine. They're looking all right. They look organised. They're good at the back. They're frustrating Spurs a little bit. And then the Ken, how would you say his name? Kengi? Kengi,
yeah, that's what I say. King Kengi, yeah.
What a shot that was!
But I think as well, it was looking like we might have to, a few shots from outside the area might be what we have to try here to have a go. But I think it woke Tottenham up though. At that point, I think. Yeah. I think they thought, hang on, let's prick their ears up a little bit, and then it wasn't long after that they scored the first one.
Yeah, it was there was he hits the bar, doesn't he? There's a handball shout after that.
Yeah.
And Matty, it was going off in the gardens at that point.
It wasn't our garden as well. Yeah. But I mean, I genuinely, I think they had a free kick on about the 4th minute. And I genuinely thought, do you know what? If we've got to the 4th minute, 0-0, I'll take that. And then that becomes 10 minutes. And after about a quarter of an hour, I think I messaged Jordan. I was like, 15 minutes here, And then that happened. Like, bring it out. I mean, it was never in a million years going to stay 0-0, But to get to those 23 minutes, and not just to, it wasn't that Spurs were misfiring. We were frustrating them. We were organised and tight at the back. They weren't getting much in. They had a few free kicks and they were hitting the walls. And I was thinking, have they underestimated it somewhat? I mean,
even when they scored, even when they eventually scored, heads never went down.
No.
Like we kept going. I think they understood what game this was and how this is probably going to go. So they had the pride and they just kept going.
There was those 10 minutes. Those 10 minutes where I think they got about 3 or 4 in the 10 minutes. You thought, Jesus, this really is going to be a cricket score. Okay. Other than that one shot, we never really looked like scoring. Outside of that, it wasn't like bombarding the goal itself. There's a lot to be proud of, isn't there? Basically,
absolutely, 100%, absolutely. 100%. And Jordan, you can see as well, though, can't you? I mean, and this sort of goes without saying, the sort of that these are Premier League footballers. Even if it's a 16-year-old lad coming off the bench, he's still at Spurs for a reason and things like that. The other thing that was like really sort of like, oh shit, it was you're looking at the players and you're like, I mean, this is the difference between hauling bins round and having a normal job and being in the gym every day.
Yeah.
They all looked massive, didn't they, Spurs?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You were like, the size of these fellas, like.
Yeah, they were up like, who's the lad? Cummins up. I mean, Cummins looked like it sometimes. I thought after about 10 minutes he was going to be asking if he can go and goal. But I thought he ended up. He had a good scrap with that lad at the back. Was it Davis who ripped his shirt and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And I thought that's what they're going to have to do to get stuck in, because the fitness levels are completely different. Going back to you were saying obviously this is like a big game for Marine and they'll never forget it and all that, but that 16-year-old lad coming on for Tottenham, Devine, what was his name?
Yeah, Alfie Devine.
Alfie Devine. He's only 16 years old, like scoring in his first game for Tottenham and that. I thought that was a nice little touch for him as well. He won't forget that. Marine players won't forget that game, but he won't forget that. He plays for Tottenham.
The other thing, Matty, and we talked about this when we did the preview show, is just sort of how much this has put Marine on the map, isn't it? And you did your part with selling the prints, and I seen that you'd sold. Was it quite about 200 or so? Did you say?
We raised 200 quid for it. Yeah,
brilliant. But the virtual tickets thing's gone through the roof, hasn't it? Unbelievable. Is it
10,000? I think it was.
25, mate.
20 away.
Yeah,
25. Yeah.
Was it?
That's ridiculous.
Fantastic. I mean,
a ticket.
Yeah, and then you could donate into the Marine community as well. So it'd be interesting to know how that was. But I think that I was there today and I was there yesterday as well, just a glory hunter really. But there was a buzz about the College Road. All the shops had Marine scarves or Niall Cumming t-shirts in the window. it's something that won't be forgotten quickly. And you hope it kind of, because obviously now the season's finished pretty much.
Yeah, it's likely null and void, isn't it? I mean, is it suspended till March, and then they're going to make a decision? But everyone pretty much thinks it's going to be null and void.
Yeah. But I mean, the buzz about today, you hope it. Even if it gets 10% of those people who bought a virtual ticket think, right, I'm going to go see what this is all about when we can get back in. It's going to have, potentially long-term benefits, which is great, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely that. I mean, we keep saying all the way through, and I'm rightly so, Jordan, that, they've done themselves proud. There's one that it's the bar, and I suppose you can say, I don't know, I'm not quite sure what he's up to in goal there, by the way, letting it go.
Yeah.
But there's another one just after that where I'm not sure it was who tracked back, but he tracked all the way back and he slid in front of the shot from Joyce. But that was a cracking move from Marine. That, do you know what I mean? And they got through Spurs, and the shot was on target. And like I say, whoever tracked it, it was brilliant by him, to be fair, and he got in the way of it. But again, and like we were saying on the preview show again, there's times there, little moments there where you're like, these boys can play. They're not just lumping it.
Yeah, and that's again, as I said on the preview show, that's all credit to Young. Yeah, he's had a plan, going 5 at the back, 4 at the 1 up top, and again, all the lads did themselves proud. I thought Joyce was brilliant. I thought everyone at the back was brilliant. To be honest with you, Solomon Davis was superb as always.
Raven.
Joyce was great. Raven again, and he was when he was trying to track one of the, I think it might have been that Vinicius, whatever. I don't know.
The lad who got the hat-trick, yeah.
But, yeah, I thought, he might be in trouble here, but he sorted himself. But the lads at the back were brilliant. I know they lost 5-0, but it could have been a lot more had they slipped in the concentration.
I wasn't joking on the pre-match when I said I'd be happy if it was single figures, and especially by around 36, 37 minutes, I thought, no, God, it really is going to be about 10-0, yeah. In the second half, they only scored the 1. I love the fact that at half time, they took a defender off and brought a striker on.
Yeah,
that was absolutely brilliant.
Balls out.
About 68 minutes, we're 5-0 down. I get a text off Jordan. I was slipping away here.
I mean, I think I'm right in saying, and this is going back, I can remember this from reporting on them way back in the day. The big defeat that they had in the FA Cup once was 11-2, is that right?
Shrewsbury, wasn't it?
Yeah. So when a game when you're putting it into that context, only 5 against the side that are on mega money, that were top of the league when the draw was made. I just think I can see some journalists online there sort of being a bit saying I'm not into this sort of patting them on the head. I'm really trying not to pat them on the head. These are part-time lads, and they've done absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't see any patting on the head really.
No.
I mean, like Alan Shearer and all that were on, and there was not. I didn't really feel like there was a lot of patronising going on. I know they kept mentioning, he's a bin man and all that. And,
yeah, the classics.
You're going to mention that sort of stuff. I think everyone everyone was made up for Marine.
Yeah,
like across the country, obviously apart even Tottenham fans actually. Yeah, everyone was made up for Marine. Everyone realises what an achievement it was just to get to where they were today. It's all positive for Marine. There's no negatives in this at all. The only negative was Mo Toure not being involved, and there was a rumour he was going to be involved yesterday as well.
Seen that, yeah.
But that there's no negatives for Marine at all.
Matty, one of the, much of it was surreal, obviously, as we've discussed, but one of the real surreal moments was definitely, Dele Alli had been pulling the strings. He's key to some of those goals that Spurs score. And it's like, he's going off for Gareth Bale. I mean, that's mad. That is. I mean, it's mad for us watching on as fans, but can you imagine those lads who were playing against, I think as Jordan says there, you could see some of the players were blowing early doors. And then here our second half, Bale's coming on. Like, Jesus Christ.
I know, it's the gap. As I say, it's like me standing behind Nile Rodgers thinking, fucking hell, there's a goal for you, isn't there? I mean, it does highlight the fitness difference. After about half an hour, you thought, God, we look knackered. And to be expected, like, half of those players will have individual nutritionists and individual fitness plans. And, there's our lads happen to take the week off Sainsbury's, but,
the keeper of that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it does highlight that difference, though, doesn't it? You know, the
unbelievable.
And again, though, fair play to Marine, because at about literally about half an hour, I thought, well, we're flagging already. There wasn't like a massive dive, was there, in terms of that? It wasn't like especially the second half. It wasn't the most exciting, but it wasn't like an absolute romp from Spurs. We were still getting stuck in.
I wanted to mention the run because I didn't have it. I didn't know about the run, obviously, but I didn't have it in front of me when we were doing the preview show, which was annoying by me.
I did. I had it there. I had it all there.
Lads, you should have said. Well, I've got it now as well. So should we do it? Because I think it just emphasises, how well they've done. So Barnolds, Wick Town, they won 2-1 in the preliminary round. First qualifying, Frickley. Then Runcorn Linnets, then Nantwich Town, then Chester, who were higher up the pyramid than Marine, Colchester United, League 2, having some Waterlooville higher up the pyramid than Marine, and then, of course, Tottenham Hotspur, the 8th FA Cup tie of the season. And it's, I mean, I know about that because I've always loved non-league, but I think that's the big thing that we've got to emphasise. Like, to get to there is unbelievable in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, they've done the run. They've done more. They've played more games than Tottenham will have to play to win it. You know what I mean? They've only got there'll be the 4th round, the 5th round, quarters, something. That's it. So you can't not I think it was when we played Chester. Even though Colchester was higher, I thought when we beat Chester, I thought bring anyone on, bring absolutely anyone. We can do the way we played there. I thought doesn't really matter. Obviously, when Tottenham is a different story, but when we got Colchester, I think most people thought that's it. This is going to be a nice little away. Well, not an away day, couldn't go, but this is where it comes to an end. But no, here we go. Tottenham.
And as we said, Matty, in the other show as well, so the story goes. Neil Young should, we think, maybe be in there now with Jose Mourinho sharing a Budweiser. And being handed some kind of massive dossier on what Marine do. I mean, whenever the lads can all get together and play again, you would imagine that's going to come in handy.
Not half, yeah. I got a text during the game, some top non-league shithousery. Apparently, a mate of a mate, one of them was in charge of the heating in the Spurs dressing room. And
I heard about this.
He forgot to turn it.
I did hear about that. I mean, that's literally that was on the back page of the Mirror today. Dave Raven had done an interview with the Mirror, and he was like, "I hope we do every trick in the book. I hope we turn the heating down." And,
there you go. Yeah.
It's right. It's all part of it. And I was getting some messages off my mates going, I know, because obviously we can't be together and that's a bit shit. But they were sending me messages going, I know you're sitting in your living room now watching some of these challenges going, go ahead lads. And I was, because there was loads of little niggle, wasn't there, Jordan? And Niall Cummins was seemingly the best at it. But there was loads of that. There was loads of little chats, loads of little needle, and this Marine side's got that about it, hasn't it?
Yeah. I thought, to be fair, going against what you said, there was a bit of a, obviously with Cummins and all, having a little scrap at the beginning. And that
wasn't too mad. They weren't going in two-footed,
No. I thought Cummins and Joe Hart have a few words or something dead early on.
There was a few words going on all over, yeah.
I thought second half, with it being 4-0 and with us obviously tiring, I thought it might have got worse. I thought there might have been a few more bookings. Was there any bookings, in fact?
One. Wasn't there?
One booking?
Yeah, Joyce got booked.
Was it? I thought there might have been more. I thought it might have got a bit more moody.
Well, yeah. I was watching that with my wife, and Marine used to do, it was brilliant, a joint season ticket. So me and my wife used to have a joint season ticket, and every game we go, there was a sending off or a scrap, and my wife was watching going, this is very civilised.
Yeah, what's happened?
Yeah.
Tuning in for a bit of boxing.
Non-league's gone.
Game's gone, lads.
I mean, it's been a big lift, hasn't it, as well, I think, Jordan, generally. I mean, we said there that it's not just us who like Marine and have got a soft spot for Marine, and in the case of yourselves, go to all the games, write about them and everything else. I think it has been one that's captured the whole nation, and there's been some fantastic coverage, some great pieces of writing out there. Great stuff on the radio I heard before when I was driving. all the stuff on the BBC, fantastic. My favourite headline, I don't know if you've got one or whether you've seen this one. My favourite headline of the weekend was The Guardian. Crosby thrills and cash. Absolutely.
Right, end the show.
That's off, innit? They've absolutely nailed it. And we got all of that. We got Crosby, we got thrills, and the club has got a shitload of cash.
Yes. And people have done well out of this in other ways. Like a friend of mine, Dan Hewitson, you might actually know him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he only bought a drone like last week, a couple of weeks back, 2 weeks ago, whatever. And I thought, when the lead up last week, when managed to get into the ground with permission, obviously, and have a little mess about with his drone, took some drone shots and all that, posted it online, and then the BBC got in touch with him someone seen it, producer seen it on Twitter, just seen the video and hired him and said, would you go back, do some of Crosby Beach, do a bit more around the ground, and all his footage has been getting used in the build up to this game today. So, people have done really well out of this, like.
Although.
And we've got advertising shipbuilders records and all that. So Matty's doing well out of it as well. What's that behind you, Matty?
I must say, in the build-up, I got a message off, because Gibbo, Anfield Wrap's very own Gibbo, he manages the shipbuilder, so of course, disclaimer. I get a text off Gibbo. Who's this prick with the ukulele?
The Marine song, and how I got on that. Where did that come from?
Who's his manager and why is he on the show?
Yeah, you need to have a word with him.
I know, yeah. What's happened there, John? Don't you be blaming Matty. You should have said to Matty, do a Marine song and I'll get it on the BBC. The criticism's the wrong way round here, isn't it, Matty?
One job, Gibbo.
We just got some quotes in from Mourinho on the game. He says, I was expecting since 2004 I've been in England. I've never played against a side at this level in the pyramid, but many times I've played against League One or League Two sides. I'm not English, but I know what it means for everyone. So I made sure I brought a good team, not just for the result, but also for the meaning of the cup. For them, I think it's incredible to have Gareth Bale playing here, Moussa Sissoko and all these guys. I think it's an incredible feeling for them. They compete and the result is not one to be ashamed of, so everyone goes home happy. I have to admit that in the first 10 minutes we didn't create a lot. Then they at the bar. If it goes 1-0 to them, I'm not saying we would lose, but for sure they'd fight with even more energy. It was good, and even people at home will have enjoyed it because it's football. That's nice, isn't it?
It's he is suspiciously sound, but it just highlights. I was getting texts. You might have as well, but my phone was pinging, especially in the build-up from people from literally all over the world. Got mates in Ireland and in America and that, and everyone was pinging like, "Are you watching it? Or do you see the Iron Men on the beach?" And oh my God, can you see Gareth Bale warming up? Bang, bang, bang. So yeah, I think he's spot on there. He has always shown a healthy respect for the cup, which is sounds like a cliche, but it's true, isn't it? There,
he loves a trophy, doesn't he? He loves a trophy, Mourinho. Doesn't matter the League Cup and all that back in the day. It's a good starting point for the rest of the season, isn't it? But he's got how many FA Cups has he got? About 4. Something like that, I don't know. But,
he's won it, and I think that's fair.
He understands. He's a football man, and he understands what this means.
And Crosby is now on the map, and people now know what Marine is. I mean, there was someone on the BBC coverage I liked where she was saying, no one ever knows what it is because there's obviously no location in the name. It's like what's Marine? Where's Marine? But everyone now is talking about Crosby. Like I say, brilliant headlines kicking about as well. And look, they're just. You said before, I think they were talking about the concept of almost imagine if it was like golf, and imagine you had, a handicap, if you like, a handicap system. Getting beat 4 or 5 by a Premier League side is essentially 0-0, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, they beat Tranmere 7-0 the other year, didn't they?
That's right, yeah.
But there must be, if there's a Crosby travel board between this and Ancelotti talking about Crosby to the New York Times, the Crosby travel board must be rubbing their hands like that.
I had my cousin. I've been talking to my cousin in Canada. I mentioned him. He was going to be watching it. His mate messaged him just before the game because because he knows he likes football, not because he knew he was from Liverpool originally and all that. Just saying, get the telly on now. There's a game. Tottenham Hotspurs are playing some team in the 8th tier called Marine. but it's the biggest gap in the FA Cup history. You've got to watch it and all that. He's like, oh, I'm watching it, don't worry. But just, it's not like he knew who he, like, that he supported, like, he obviously connected to me and all that. That's just people on the other side of the world talking about how big this game is.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I was doing a few tweets on the Anfield Wrap's Twitter account there, and we were getting replies from people from all over the world, and loads of them were Americans who were just tuning in and watching it, and like, you know, they didn't know who Marine were, but you know, and like literally like someone with quite a lot of followers actually, I can't remember his name now, but he was tweeting back saying, you know, all I'm asking for is 1 goal for Marine. And I was thinking, oh, spot on, you know, but it's nice to think that you know, there's people all over the world now going like, yes, Marine, go ahead.
Well, that's it. We were the Marine shipbuilders, Prince. I've shipped some of them off this week to Milwaukee and Wisconsin, and I mean, how to figure out they found us, God knows, but you know.
It's great though, isn't it? And you know, if we look sort of forward now, Jordan, and obviously we don't know what's going to happen with, you know, coronavirus and everything else, and when life returns to normal and all of those big questions. I don't think we can answer them today. But
can we not?
We can have a go if you want, Matty. But you know, with Marine, and you are long-standing fans, you'll know about sort of things that have happened in the past whereby, you know, they could have gone up to another level, but they couldn't go to that level because the restrictions, because the ground's only got 3 sides and all that kind of stuff. I think everyone's committed to the fact that they are never going to move from there. But this money will allow them to do stuff, surely. I mean, I did hear the chairman on the radio before saying they've also, of course, lost a lot of money, not just around this match, but around all the matches that haven't played, but also around the fact that, you know, Marine's a bit of a go-to for a lot of people in Crosby to hold events, isn't it? Weddings, you know, christenings, whatever, the bar. Obviously, that's been off the agenda as well. There's been a load of people furloughed. I think he said they thought they'd lost circa 300 grand out of, you know, from the pandemic, basically. You'd like to think that, you know, they're back up in the black and then some from this. You know, that's exciting, isn't it? The fact that whenever it comes back and whenever footy starts again, it just feels like Marine's standing has been lifted a bit now, and perhaps players want to come and play at Marine. Yeah,
well, I think Bart Samir, when they were non-league, after Samir, it is Marine from a non-league point of view. They have got a history. People, you know, in the non-league terms, people do know who Marine are. They've got a history, like you said about the 90s. They were a big deal, and this is just gonna kind of bring that back a little bit. You know, we had Jason McAteer on today. He was a pundit talking about how he started out with them. I think just what they've got to try now is, if this is the end now, if that's their last game for the season, they've got to try and sort of, not just financially, they've got to try and keep the momentum there somehow for now until probably September, till August now, aren't they? And I think it's just how they do that. They're going to have to do probably a bit more media stuff, or I know they've got a couple of deals with a couple of other sporting, what's the word I'm thinking of, companies or whatever. They're going to have to try and work out how to keep this promotion up, going forward. I think how they do that.
I mean, they will do. There'll be loads more in the papers the next few days, I would imagine, and lots of people will want to go and get the story of, you know, what was it like to play against X and Y, and, you know, blah blah blah. So I feel as though there's still more. There's still more they can do here, Marine. I mean, I did enjoy the fact that I know we're doing this in association with Budweiser, but I'm sure they won't mind me mentioning it. I did like the fact that they literally got sponsored by a milk company, and then they were just literally going on their own Twitter, yes, we're milking it. I mean, but who begrudges them? No one begrudges them. Everyone understands the challenges, and bigger clubs than Marine are struggling with the pandemic. This is huge.
I think you're right, and I think you made a good point in the sense that kind of the reverse the chat. We know what we are. You know, we know we're a club who can only go so far, but let's be the best at that, if you know what I mean.
No, absolutely. You know, I mean, even in the local area, there's loads of opposition, isn't there? You know, you've got Prescott Cables. Went a bit scouse there for people who won't know what the hell that is. You know what I mean? You've obviously got City of Liverpool. You've got Bootle. You know, there's a good non-league scene in this area, and the fact that there's been loads of little local derbies, obviously pre-pandemic, really lifted the whole scene around here, hasn't it? Because you've had good attendances when one side faces the other.
Yeah,
I've been to a few of those games myself, and they've been crackers. And it just feels like, after a time, not so long ago, where it seemed it was starting to get a bit forgotten and drifting away.
Yeah.
It's coming back full circle now, isn't it? And it feels like a lot of people, maybe priced out of Premier League football and stuff like that, are turning to this. It's almost an alternative sport at times, but it's nice, isn't it? It's a good experience, a different experience, but a good experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, because it's easy to look at days like today and go, how can we do that again? But I mean, days like today, they're 1 in a million, that they come around. Well, I'd be surprised if we ever see a game like that again at the MTA. So it's a case of, well, let's define what we are, what's our aims, and if we're a non-league who can only go to the 6th or 7th tier, let's be the best at doing that. And let's stuff City and Liverpool.
And why not? All right, boys. Well, that's been brilliant. I think we've covered everything we could cover. The one thing we always do on post-match pint, which I feel like we should do, keep up the tradition, is we do a man of the match. Now, on the BBC coverage, they were obviously talking about Spurs players. Not interested in them, boys. I want some bigging up of the Marine boys. So who are we going for? Who looks ready to talk to me? Matty's still thinking. Jordan, have you got one?
I'll go with. I like Barragan. I thought Barragan was all right, and between him and Joyce, I know Matty's probably going for Joyce anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna go for Joyce. I thought he was solid. The pair of them actually, I'd agree with both. No one had a bad game, but I'd go for Joyce.
I did like, by the way, obviously, like it's a bit of a mad link up. Some people have been going, why is the Anfield Wrap talking about Marine? We've always talked about Marine, by the way. We've always done stuff on the local scene, and many of us involved do go. But yeah, I do like the fact that it's now going to be a thing. It's now going to be everyone talking about Marine, hopefully talking about the local scene a bit more. Hopefully as well, we know that we've got people who watch and listen from all over the world, and maybe now they put on their bucket list, visit Anfield, visit Marine as well. Do you know what I mean? I really hope so, because there's loads of opportunities to do that. I know that the club has been a bit better, if for want of a better word, of literally going to Liverpool and Everton fans. Come down when you aren't playing. Come down and watch us. I think Tranmere back in the day were good at that when they had the Friday night football. I used to go and get involved in that myself. So this could be, when we get to the other side of all this shite, really, really, really good for Marine, and let's hope it is. Fantastic, boys. Thanks for doing both the preview and the post-match with us.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers to Budweiser once more.
I think I've done a good impression of being. I think I've done a good impression of being sober as well.
You have, mate. Yeah, you were worried pre-show, weren't you? But you are definitely not the drunkest person to ever be on the post-match pint.
I'm told.
I've done some of your away gigs, Gareth. I know.
I remember.
Yeah, Jordan, you're all right, mate.
Okay, that has been the post-match pint about Marine. Well done, Marine. You've done us all proud. Merseyside loves you. Well in.